there, this is Tammy with Tammy's Stamping Therapy, and yesterday I came on and showed you, I did just a project share and I showed you this cute little book that I made, and I wanted to show you my version of how to make it. So let's get started. Today I'm using the Mosaic Mood Designer paper. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, I have a bunch of designer papers that are retiring and I want to use them up, so I'm going to use them to make Happy Mail. And that is what I did with this. This was made with 6x6 sheets of paper, each of these little envelopes. And then I made this little book to put it into. So I'm going to start by showing you how I made the envelope. So I can put that there. I used the envelope punch board and I'm going to use that side. I knew I had a 6x6 piece of paper, so I looked on here for where it said 6x6, and 3x4 is one of the places that it says 6x6, and it tells me that I'm going to do my first punch and cut at 2 5/8. So and I did discover that you have to be careful with this. My light was not right on some of the envelopes I created earlier. So you do the first punch and cut at 2 5/8, and then you're going to turn it, and you have this crease here, and you're going to stick this so this little arrow is on that crease. So I wasn't precise enough earlier. I think I had shadows in my way. I didn't have the right kind of lighting, and you just keep doing that until you finish all 4 sides. So one of the little books that I'm going to make, the envelopes are not all exactly the same size. They came out like a 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch different, which was very frustrating to me because I like my stuff to be precise. And then I'm going to fold the envelope. It's really pretty, but I already have one that's got that on the outside, so isn't that paper beautiful? Sadly, it's retiring, although I only ever bought 1 pack of this paper and I still had more than half of it, so I'm not sure. I can't even remember what I actually made with it. Some of the other papers I bought packs and packs and packs and made lots of stuff with them, but not this one. So the next thing I'm going to do is put tear and tape on the envelope. And when I'm doing my tear and I'm going to put it on these 2 sides right here, so that'll fold down. When I'm doing my tear and tape, I like to use a little straight edge to help me with cutting it instead of scissors. It's just quicker and easier. And this is an old stamping block that I don't use for stamping because I don't really like it for stamping, but it has a straight edge on it that works really nice for this. So that's that part. And then before I glue that together, I'm going to take this piece of string, and all I did was measure out the string around an envelope and see if it was long enough to tie. There's no precise measurement here, and I'm not sure how long it is. And I don't have my mat under me that tells me how long it is. Oops. That did not want to stay in there. So I'm going to lay that in there, and then I'm just going to go like this. And I've already done the other 5, so these are the other 5 of my envelopes. There's all 6 of them. Is that 6? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. Didn't look like 6 for some reason. So those are my envelopes. And first I'm going to decide what order I want to put them in. Just kind of based on the pattern. They might already be in a decent order. We'll see. So I have 2 darker colors together there. I'm going to move this one over here, and then that looks more appealing. Well, now I have 2 green ones together. There. Now it looks more appealing to my eyes. So the next thing I'm going to do is make the book to put it in. And I have 2 pieces of chipboard that are 4.5 by 3.5, and one that's 4.5 by 1/2. And then I have a piece of designer paper. There's that pretty paper again, but I'm going to use the other side. a piece of designer paper that is 6 by 9 1/4. And I'm going to put these on here. Lay that down, and then this one. I want this to be about 1/8 of an inch away from the other piece. And then I'll put this one beside it. And I'm going to turn it over and burnish it. You're only going to see a little bit of this because I'm going to layer on top of it. And then I'm going to start folding up my sides, and I use my bone folder to help me get them folded up because I want them right up against the cardboard. This is the same way I make all of my albums, the same book cover that I always make. I really like this book cover. And I'll cut this, and I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch between the corner of the cardboard, chipboard, and the designer paper. And it doesn't matter that these are not all the same because you're not going to see them when we're done. Now I will take tear and tape and put on here. And when I'm putting it on chipboard, I don't need my little block because it's not going to tear it the same way it would as if it were designer paper. So that's that. I'll varnish my tape. And then I like to start with the long edges first. I think everybody does this part slightly different. And burnish them down nicely. And I'll go in and get my short edges. And then I want to start the fold on these, so I just put my bone folder in there and lift it up. And I'm going to do that on the other side also. Now, the one thing I didn't cut is my liner piece. And this actually works better if you leave it time for all this glue to dry, which I'm not doing. So it might get a little funky on the end. So this is 8 3/4, 7 3/4. So I'm going to make it 7 1/2 by 4 1/4 because it's 4 1/2. 7 1/2 by 4 1/4. And find a piece of paper that is that big. I think I'll use this. This is the other side of the hummingbirds. So I'll cut this to 7 1/2. I had an art light here at my desk that I absolutely loved, and the bulb burned out. And I couldn't get it out, so I put it away and got out another lamp that I have. But this lamp must be a soft white because it's like a yellow light. I do not like the difference in color. See, that works perfect. So I'm going to glue this on. So I need to get new bulbs for the lamp I'm using, or get a new bulb for my art light that died, so I have the white light instead of the yellow light. I do not like the yellow light. I can really tell a difference when I look at my videos. So that's on there. And I did mention in my video yesterday, I'm going to be making a bunch of these and sending them out as happy mail. So here's number 2. And now, again, this would be better if I was waiting till it was all the way dry, but I did not do that. And you're not going to see that anyway, but there is a reason to wait until it's all the way dry, because you get this buckling here when the glue is not quite dry. So there's my little book cover. And before I do the tying up, I need to put my pieces on there. So let's put this piece on. Make this one my front because it does have a hummingbird face on it. I want that to be the front. I don't want that to be the front. I want this to be the front. I use soft suede to layer this with, and it goes really pretty with all these papers. All the papers in this pack. I want this to go the same way up. That's my other one. And then here's my tiny little spine. These are 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and the paper is 4 by 3. So this is 4 1/4 by 1/2, and the paper is 4 by 1/4. And this one I can't tell which way is up, so I'm not going to worry about it. So there's my spine. And now what I'm going to do with these guys, I've got them in the order I want, I think. Yeah, I already did that, so that's the order that I want. I need my strings to be hanging out on all 6 of them. And if any of your strings got stuck in there and you need them to shift, they'll still pull loose. But it looks like I have them pretty well done. And now here comes the tricky part. I'm going to put this in here. I know you can't see this part right this minute. So see, I've got that in there, and I've got all of my strings. And I want my strings to be a little longer this way, because I want my bow to be more at the top. I also want all my little envelopes to be closed so I can stand this on its end while I tie this. There, that's better. I'm going to take a rubber band and close this while I do this. So I want my knot to be like right up here, 3/4 of the way, about up. We'll see. It's okay if it's a little higher. I want to tie that as tight as possible. Holding it down with my ring finger while I turn this over and around. There. So that's the spine of my little book. And then I'm going to cut these guys so they're all about the same length. open the book, and you can embellish it however you like and add whatever you want into it. So that was how I made this little book, and I will finish it later. I'll decorate it up similar to this. I'll probably still put Hello Friend on it. Now I wanted to show you how I made this guy. I'm going to show you part of it because I don't have, did not get out my eyelets and stuff, but I'll show you how I made the book part. So very similar to what I just did with this book. I have, this is Stampin' Up! Thick White Cardstock instead of Chipboard, and it is I forget, I think I would have written it down, 1 5/8 by 1 1/4. So I'm going to do this the same way. I haven't really measured this piece, it was just a scrap that I had, and they fit. So you need a piece that will give you at least a 1/2 inch all the way around all your sides to close up, to make this little book the same way I made the other book that we just made. Some days I am such a klutz. So this is the same thing I did with that chipboard, and yeah, that's all going to work just fine. So I'm going to fold it over, fold it over. This I have to be more gentle with because I could easily also fold that cardstock. I also didn't do this. Isn't that going to be a pretty cover? Cut my corners. Those can be cut a little bit closer because this cardstock is nowhere near as thick as the chipboard was. And I think I will still use my tear and tape just because it's easier and it's instant dry instead of waiting for the glue to dry. There's that. And again, I'll start on the long sides. Fold that over and then burnish. Burnish. Make sure my ends are all good. Burnish. And burnish. And now this is just a hair over 3 by 1 5/8. So I'm going to do 1 3/8 by 2 3/4. We'll see how that does. So 2 3/4, maybe a hair more than 2 3/4. And 1 3/8. That's going to go in there. I went on eyelet outlet today and ordered a bunch of eyelets so that I can use them for these little things, because the eyelets that I have I feel are too big and I wanted some small ones. So those will hopefully be here soon, and then I can start using them so I don't have to do this to put my books together. Or, well, this one is a thicker book, so this eyelet would work and this little finding will work. But when I made the little tiny one, I need a much smaller eyelet or some way for that to work. And then here we're going to go again, try to figure out where it's supposed to fold. There's my little book shape. Isn't that cute? Just too cute. I think I will go ahead and mark it, pencil here somewhere. See if I can, does this have a right side up? Maybe that. So if I were to put an eyelet right there, and on the crocodile I need the bigger hole, and I did determine that if I look through here I can see, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see my little mark, and that one is fairly centered. And my eyelets, yep, here's my eyelets. So I'm going to use, I think, a coppery colored one. I'm going to put that through there. And see if I can remember how this goes. I haven't done this for a long time, but I think it goes like this. And then I squeeze. Too hard. I squeezed too hard and messed it up. But it's only messed up on the inside, so let's see if I can fix it. I need tools. Tools. Yeah, I think I squeezed way too hard, or it didn't fit, one of the two. But because this is only on the inside, I'm pretty sure I can fix it. Stick a needle nose through there and see if I can fix it. I don't think you're going to be able to see that this is like this. Once I get it all put together, we'll see. But so there's my little eyelet in my book. And then let me show you. This is 21 pieces of cardstock that are 1 1/8 by 1 1/2, and they are to go in here. And it looks like I need a few more pieces, which I happen to have right here. So all I did was just put glue on one side and stack them up. I want enough pieces so that the book is flat and doesn't have to squeeze together to close. So let's see how that works. That looks pretty good. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to center it inside here. Like that, so I have an even edge all the way around. And then I'm going to let that dry. And I'm not going to do the other part. I don't have my pieces out, the fiddly bits. So after probably sometime tomorrow, I will do this to the rest of it. But this is my little book. I'll put some sort of little gem on the front. See if you can see this. This is my teeny tiny little book. I think they're just adorable. And then this is the other two books that I made. I think this paper is really pretty. I don't know if you can see that one side of it is kind of has shiny bits. That is just so pretty. It's kind of raised up where the mosaic part is. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of my mosaic paper that I used today. And have a great day. Bye.